Sun's out, not a cloud in the sky, and we are back here for the Bristol Blues against the Nashua Silver Knights live on the Bristol Blues YouTube channel. Hi, everybody. Chris Saunders and AJ Fabry here, bringing you the coverage right here from historic Muzzy Field. And the Bristol Blues, AJ, I know you were doing the PA when they were playing against Worcester during that what seemed to be a tsunami of rain coming left and right. But Bristol kind of struggled a little bit, but had a valiant comeback, but just was not able to hold off the Worcester Bravehearts.
Chris, tough break for Bristol, dropping that contest 8-5 in just 5 innings, as you mentioned. The weather not really cooperating on Wednesday night. The game was cut short due to rain. Got down early, 8-0. Justin Rouse, not his best start. He struggled with command yet again, giving up the Blues falling down 8-0 early. But like you said, they were able to battle back, scoring 5 runs in the final 3 innings of that game. Just a bit of a stroke of bad luck there as that game was cut short, unable to complete the comeback. But you have to like the way the bats woke up. And if you're Ronnie Palmer, you have to be pleased with the way your team battled after facing an 8-run deficit to start that game. But after a day off, reset the mind, and after some terrible weather on Wednesday, you could not ask for a better day for baseball here. A great way to start the weekend against the Nashua Silver Knights, Chris.
And I think one thing you look at, Ronnie Palmer is glad that the sun's out. It's nice. There isn't any sort of concerns about the weather. But I know one thing that will make him a lot more happy, his pitching staff not giving up 5+ runs, which they have done the last 5 games. And the Blues are 1-4 in that span. And you're talking about a Blues team that through the first maybe 15 games, the pitching staff was elite. 1-2 in the FCBL in numerous categories, but it was the hitting that was not there. Now the bats are starting to come around with the addition of Malloy. Bonficini came in late after UConn was eliminated in the regional tournament. So the bats are starting to come, but now it's the opening of the starting rotation. We saw Justin Rouse struggle against the Worcester Bravehearts, and we now know he is in the bullpen, and that's opened up a spot for guys like potentially Jason Hebner and the guy on the mound today, Emmett Sheehan.
Emmett Sheehan making his 2nd start of the season tonight, and you're going to see him in a little bit as we rise and honor our nation with the playing of the national anthem. First pitch between the Bristol Blues and the Nashua Silver Knights coming up in just a minute.
And in classic Bristol Blues fashion, after that beautiful rendition of the national anthem, we do have a standoff. The Bristol Blues are out there trying to be able to nag on the Nashua Silver Knights, and I don't know, AJ. I personally don't see anything from Nashua kind of giving it to the Blues.
The Silver Knights not answering the bell. And if you recall, a couple weeks ago in a game against the Sharks, I believe it was, Kelvin Sosa, Emmett Sheehan himself, and Mark Silvestri out in the left field bullpen. And a standoff with the Martha's Vineyard Sharks. But you see right there, I believe, did we just see an engagement on the field there?
I don't know. Did he get it? Was there an engagement? I think it's more of a surprise. Now, I do know that he just got back. I think that was a ring. No engagement. It was not engagement. But I
False
do.
alarm. False alarm.
False alarm. He's still technically single. No. But in all seriousness, though, he just came back from war or from being overseas, and his girlfriend had no idea that he was going to be here, and he surprised her. It's always nice to see that. What do you think, AJ?
Nice way to start the weekend. Some baseball, some romance. Romance is in the air tonight. But the big fella, number 26, on the hill for Bristol, Emmett Sheehan, the future Boston College Eagle, on the bump tonight for Bristol as they look to improve to 15-10 against a struggling Nashua team that comes in here 6th place in the FCBL with a 9-13 record so far. So a good opportunity for Bristol after a hard luck loss Wednesday night and an off day yesterday to come out here and start the weekend on the right foot.
The defense for the Bristol Blues, left, center, right, Hunt, Nolan, Breerton in the infield, Bonficini at first, Haig at second, Osberg at short, at third, Lamparco behind the plate, Bauman. And as AJ said, it's going to be Emmett Sheehan, and the scouting report on Emmett Sheehan is simple. Free and easy delivery, as you know. The ball really jumps out of his hand, but the big thing is the curveball. That's going to be the setup pitch to both his fastball and his changeup. And as we've seen the last couple times when he has pitched here at Muzzy Field, keep an eye on the runners. Sheehan, being a young pitcher, has a tendency to not really pay attention to the guys on base. And while Nashua does not steal a lot of bases, this is a very veteranated club. And P.J. Neverett, who has been around the block quite a few times, has won a couple championships, will pick up on that. So look to see how Sheehan does with his timings to home plate.
Sheehan, the young guy, making his second start of the season. His last start came June 19th against Worcester, and in that one he was lights out. 5 1/3 innings pitched, 1 run, and that was unearned with 5 hits allowed and 5 strikeouts. So Sheehan now looking to build on that opening performance, maybe go a little bit deeper here tonight against a struggling Nashua lineup. And leading off for the Silver Knights, the left fielder, Nick Biddison.
First pitch, swung at high in the air, shallow left, waving off his Osberg, backs up into the shadows, and he records the first out. First pitch and out at 7:03 from historic Muzzy Field. And not a bad way to start if you're Emmett Sheehan. First pitch, 1 out.
1 pitch, 1 out, and that's the game plan for these Bristol pitchers. Get ahead early, attack, keep your pitch count low, and be economical when you're out there on the bump. Maybe save a few arms in the bullpen and try to go as far as you can and give Ronnie Palmer what he needs to win this game.
Costello, number 25, the center fielder, 362 average, 8 RBIs, and 6 walks on the season for Nashua. 1-1 to the righty. Big, healthy cut, but missed it. 1-2, and Sheehan showing the high-velocity fastball there, going upstairs. Expect maybe a breaking ball here. Sheehan gets the sign. The 1-2, way outside, 2-2.
Give you some numbers for Nashua. They are, as I said earlier, 9-13, 6th best in the FCBL. Just 5-5 in their last 10 games.
The 2-2 to the right side. Breerton has it towards the line, backs up a few, makes the catch for the second out. And as you know, at Muzzy Field, with the sun still making its presence known, the shadows are really starting to creep around where it's only the behind home plate and a little bit on the mound is where the sun is being seen.
and some inclement weather this past week all over New England.
First pitch to Morissette low, 1-0.
As the Blues, they struggled through some rain on Wednesday in Nashua. This is their first game since Tuesday, which in the FCBL you expect to be playing every day, is a long break after a couple of off days and a couple of rainouts. And that last game did come against the Martha's Vineyard Sharks. It was a victory for Nashua. So a little bit of a surprise there, knocking off the top team so far in the FCBL.
And you would think, AJ, that maybe there's a possibility that one win against the Sharks can kind of catapult them and bring them to now, as currently 9-13, they're second to last in the FCBL. Maybe a win like that can allow them to be able to take that next step. 1-2 to the lefty, Morissette. Strike three. Emmett Shea, 1-2-3 inning. Bristol Blues will be up to bat in the bottom of the first. You're watching the Bristol Blues right here on the Bristol Blues YouTube channel. Emmett Sheehan, the right-hander for the Bristol Blues, with a 1-2-3 inning, getting the shortstop for Nashua, Cody Morissette, swinging at an outside fastball, and now the Bristol Blues will be up to bat.
For the Blues, leading things off, shortstop Ian Osberg, and the two-hole Alex Leparco at third base. He's swinging a hot bat as of late. DHing tonight in the three-hole, Pat Winkle. Cleanup spot, Rich Brereton, followed by Matt Bonvicini at first. Connor Nolan, the center fielder, after Bonvicini. And rounding things out would be Ethan Hunt, Alex Bauman, and Andrew Haig. And they're going to go up against the Nashua starter, Mason Palio. Palio, a bit of an unknown, making his first appearance for Nashua this year. So Nashua trying to shake things up a little bit. Kind of a clean slate here. We'll see what the game plan is for Bristol. Not having much data to go off of could be a bit of a tricky situation. So this Bristol team is going to have to use their at-bats, take some data, and figure Palio out early. They want to jump on this lead early.
And Palio is going to be a freshman at Boston College in the fall. Same thing with Emmett Sheehan. So this could be potentially 2/5 of the Boston College rotation potentially one day.
A couple of future Eagles squaring off here in Bristol.
And Osberg wastes no time fouling off the first pitch outside, 0-1. And looking at the warm-up pitches from Palio, it looks like he can bring it a little bit, but we'll see if he can have command. 0-1 to Osberg, high, 1-1.
Give you the defense for the Silver Knights. Left, center, right, Nick Biddison, Jeff Costello, and Andrew Gorham. Give the infield after this pitch.
1-1, another foul ball, 1-2.
Third base, Tom Blandini, Cody Morissette, and Bryce Regan up the middle at short and second, and Jake Lebel at first.
Palio gets the sign, sets, fires on the 1-2. Breaking ball that the catcher, Capers, couldn't be able to snap in, 2-2.
You heard right there, Palio's battery mate behind the dish, Joe Caparis, squaring things out for this Nashua defense.
The 2-2. Another foul ball. And AJ, I think we've seen Osberg do this quite a few times this season where he'll go 9, 10, 11 pitches. And then I think 2 out of those 3 times when he's gone above 10 pitches where he's fouled off, he's been able to record a hit. And, I mean, there's a reason why he's hitting .333 with a .438 on-base percentage.
Both of those, Mark, they are 5th best in the FCBL, respectively, .333 and .438 in batting average and on-base percentage. So, really, there's not much else you can ask from your leadoff man. seeing a lot of pitches, fouling a lot of pitches off, and getting on base.
3-2, and Osberg takes it up the middle for a base hit. And once again, Osberg is rewarded, fouled off 9 pitches. And on the 10th one, the ball gets away from Regan. And Osberg on a heads-up play is going to get to second. Errant throw got away from Morissette. And Osberg, showing that baseball IQ, was able to get a single to left. And then the ball got thrown away, got past Regan, the second baseman, allowed Osberg to get to second base. Heads-up play by Osberg, the Quinnipiac, now sophomore.
Just a heady play from a heady player. Middle infielder, he's made all the plays all year. And this guy, you can just tell he's an absolute gamer. When he's at the plate, he's a tough out, so hard to strike out. He's going to give you his best on every at-bat. And on plays like that where if you're not on your toes, if you're falling asleep a little bit in the field, Osberg is an irritant. He's an aggravator. He's going to get in your head. And we saw last game, he was able to draw a balk from one of the pitchers from Worcester. So he's one of those guys who you really just hate to play against, but if he's in your dugout, if he's on your corner, you love him.
And at the plate is Alex Leparco, former CCC Player of the Year, 279, 2 home runs, 9 RBIs, and 6 stolen bases. 0-1 fastball away, 1-1. And Leparco comes in the last 7 days, 6 for 12 with 5 RBIs, 2 stolen bases. Leparco really being able to help his season, which started off on a rocky way, but really has been able to step up in the second half. 1-1 to the righty, inside 1 and 2.
Leparco hitting .440 since June 15th, so a heck of a 2-week stretch for the infielder out of Greenwich, Connecticut.
Osberg on second, who was able to get on via a single, then an error by the Nashua defense. Breaking ball cut at him, missed. And Leparco goes down swinging, and that's a big strikeout for Nashua here in the bottom of the first.
Good off speed there from Polillo. Saw Leparco there, just had a wave, just trying to make contact, 2-strike situation, just trying to make contact in any way possible, but could not catch up to that off-speed pitch.
The DH number 30, the catcher, Winkle, 235, but he is DHing tonight. First pitch breaking ball in, 0-1. And I think it's safe to say, although we haven't seen much of Winkle thus far this season, that maybe the defense is a little bit ahead of the bat, but you can only dream of what this left-hander can do in terms of being at the plate. You don't see too many left-handed catchers, or lefty hitting catchers, pardon me, in not just Major League Baseball, but just itself. Typically, it's either righties or even switch, but even switch hitting catchers are a dime a dozen.
I think that's part of why the Yankees took him in the 31st round in this year's draft. Going to go play at UConn and opt out of that, but you can see the versatility, and like you said, Chris, so sound behind the plate defensively. And again, just graduated high school a couple weeks ago, and that's why he's here in the FCBL, to see these live arms, these college-level pitchers, to get him ready when he's at UConn.
2-0 from the righty, Pelio, inside 3-1. Osberg still on at second base. Morissette holding him on with now looks to be the second baseman kind of putting on a mini shift with Regan going a little bit away from second and more towards shallow right. 3-1, Osberg's going, hit and run, and that's going to be a single for Winkle. And Osberg's going to come around, tag home, 1-0. Bristol Blues are up on the RBI single from the DH, Patrick Winkle.
And you can see that error from Nashua comes back to bite the Silver Knights. But a good job there from Winkle, just fighting off an inside fastball. Looked like it was almost a jam shot right in on the hands, but Winkle able to handle it and just shoot it into that Bermuda Triangle there in shallow right center field. So a good job from the DH in the 3-hole tonight to drive in Osberg there.
Number 7, the right fielder, Richard Brereton, 315, 25 strikeouts. That leads the FCBL. So while Brereton has been able to kind of get over his struggle, which the last 7 days he was batting below 100 rather, he's been able to pick it up a tad, and I think it's just the biggest thing is just being able to have the confidence. And Brereton has been playing multiple positions for the last maybe 6 games that we can recall.
We've seen him at first at the beginning of the year. He moved over to the other corner, third. We've seen him in center field, now left field, and then tonight getting the start in right. So, again, a do-it-all guy. And I forgot to mention, he's also been on the mound. So, the definition of a do-it-all guy for Bristol.
First pitch of Brereton is high on a fastball, 1-0.
And Brereton, 5 for his last 11 after a 2 for 25 skid. So the righty out of Emory able to right the ship a little bit after a bit of a snide after a roaring start to the season.
1-0, high 2-0.
And I think one thing you can see, Palio, he's really bringing it velocity-wise, but so far Bristol able to handle it and not chasing, not giving this youngster anything to take advantage of, as Bristol being very disciplined. And when you have guys like Leparco and Osberg at the top of your lineup paired with Rich Brereton, who's going to see a lot of pitches as well, those are tough outs, so you really have to bear down, especially in the first inning. And you can see Palio in a little bit of some hot water.
2-0 way outside, 3-0. He's run himself into could be a very sticky situation with runners on first and second, or Brereton can be able to get on via the walk, hit by pitch no matter what. But you do not want to have a first and second with Bonficini and then Connor Nolan, who does have a little bit of power. And Brereton works a walk. First and second, 1 out. Bonficini at the plate. That's going to force the pitching coach for the Nashua Silver Knights to go out and talk with the righty, who started out strong a little bit, was attacking Osberg, but gave up a hit, and then an error by the defense kind of cost him to put him on second. Got Leparco to strike out, but then an RBI single by Winkle, and then Brereton with a walk. Not the start that the Nashua Silver Knights wanted thus far.
And a little bit of bad luck for Palio. I mean, both base hits so far this inning weren't the hardest hit balls. A couple of flare shots that landed, found some grass in the outfield, and Osberg able to take advantage of an error. But those unwarranted errors, the unforced errors, like a 4-pitch walk to Brereton, that's when things really start to really just speed up, especially for a young guy on the mound. You really have to slow yourself down, and that's exactly why the pitching coach for Nashua went out, just calm his youngster down a little bit, try to get out of this inning with a ground ball.
First pitch to the lefty, breaking ball, 0-1. I like that. I think that was something that Kyle Jackson, the pitching coach, discussed with Palio. Slow your arm down, be able to get that arm back in the proper slot, throw the breaking ball, and then come after with the fastball. 0-1. Another breaking ball, a little bit lower, 1-1.
Just missed low there, but I like that action from Palio, especially struggling to find the zone a little bit, not giving it to Bonficini and serving up a fastball, having trust in his stuff and going off speed to start the at-bat.
1-1. Healthy Cup, a foul back, 1-2.
Bonficini, 250 with 9 ribbies so far. So a good opportunity here to up his numbers, as he's primarily become the primary first baseman so far for Ronnie Palmer, and we've seen some flashing of the leather over there at first base. See if he can pick things up offensively.
Breaking ball hits Bonficini, but they're going to say that he did make an attempt to be able to move out, so he will stay on at first. Now, typically, if you do not make an attempt to move outside, or rather move away from the pitch, it will count as a ball, but you have to be able to make an attempt. And right there, I mean, I don't know if Bonficini could have even moved out of the way of that.
I don't know. I think he did maybe stick his elbow. It looks like he's got an elbow pad on his right elbow. So I think once he recognized the pitch was going to be inside, he kind of jerked that elbow out there to take one for the team. But home plate umpire not fooled at all, not rewarding Bonficini first base.
But at least now it's a 3-2 count. Runner on second is Winkle. On first is Brereton. Winkle with the RBI single to right center. Scoring was Osberg. We're up 1-0 Bristol Blues over Nashua. Big cut, but missed by Bonficini. Second out here in the bottom of the first, both via the K. Lamparco on the curveball, and then now Bonficini on the fastball.
So far, what I've seen from Polillo, a power guy, 6'4", bit of an intimidating presence there on the mound, and the 2 strikeouts. Bonficini, a straight fastball on a 3-2 pitch, and able to get Lamparco on the off speed. So a power guy on the arm, going to bust you inside with that fastball, try to establish that inside corner, and then he's got the soft stuff to keep you off balance.
First pitch to Connor Nolan from Polillo. High for a ball. Nolan 209 with 1 home run, but 17 strikeouts from the lefty. Low 2-0, and Polillo has fallen behind the last 2 batters, but was able to come back and strike out Bonficini. And you would think he's probably looking for a strikeout here, which Nolan is very susceptible to. 17 on the season. (2-0) on the hands, has a chance to stay in the infield. Morset running back and is able to make the catch for the 3rd and final out. But the Bristol Blues score 1 on an RBI single by Winkle. Scoring was Osberg. And at the end of 1-0 is your score. Chris Owners and AJ Fabry on the call for the Bristol Blues versus the Nashua Silver Knights, live from the Bristol Blues. You're watching the Bristol Blues right here on Bristol Blues YouTube channel. Top of the second, 1-0 is your score. Bristol Blues are up. They were able to get an RBI single off the bat of Patrick Winkle. Scoring was Osberg, who had worked a tough at-bat, 9 pitches, and then reached on second base via an error from the Nashua Silver Knights. We will have 4, 5, 6, LaBelle, Berardino, and Blandini. If any of them get on, Gorham. Emmett Sheehan back on the mound for his 2nd inning of worked a 1-2-3 back in the first. LaBelle batting .455 with 10 RBIs and 3 strikeouts. He's new to the to the FCBL. Takes a big cut but missed, 0-1, and Sheehan probably knows the scouting report, which both he and Jordy Shiner go over before every game, whoever's pitching, and they probably think, okay, we cannot throw anything in the middle part of the plate. Foul back, slicing towards the Nashua bullpen, 0-2.
And you said it, Chris. LaBelle new to the FCBL, to this Nashua team, and it's amazing. In just 22 at-bats, he's hitting .455, and he's leading the team in RBIs. So a quick start and a quick learner, LaBelle is, as he's come in and vaulted himself as a hot stick in this bat, earning the role as the cleanup hitter.
1-2 from Sheehan. Breaking ball high, 2-2. And see right there, that's the big thing. Can he have the ability to drop that breaking ball in? Because anybody can hit his fastball, or rather hit a fastball in general. But if you can command your breaking stuff, that's a whole different ball game. 2-2 fastball, strike 3. Swung at and misses LaBelle. Power versus power, and Sheehan wins that round.
Gutsy pitch there from Sheehan. Couldn't really get the grip on his off-speed stuff, so went right back to his bread and butter. And great placement on that pitch, low and outside. Not a whole lot LaBelle was going to be able to do with that if he made contact. A perfect spot there, and another good start to the inning for Sheehan.
1-0 Off the end of the bat, but it's just going to go foul as it went up the line, but then hit the grass part where, as you can see between left and right, going up the line on first and third. As soon as it hits the dirt, it will have a tendency to hit the grass and then go more foul because there's not a lot of territory. That was off the bat of Berendino. 303 average, 6 RBIs, and 7 strikeouts. He is the DH tonight.
Berendino coming to this one with a 5-game hit streak, looking to keep that alive.
1-1, another breaking ball, and that time ended up in the top of the zone, kind of just flicking up there. And, AJ, you're shaking your head. What do you see right there?
Well, that's the second off-speed pitch we've seen that's missed way upstairs. You've seen Bauman's had to reach up high to grab it. So what you're seeing from Sheehan is he's not finishing all the way through.
2-1 is going to be taken to right center. Diving play by Brereton. And what a catch by the right fielder. He's the Shohei Ohtani of the Bristol Blues. He plays everywhere, dove, and was able to make the catch in right field.
I mean, we can't sing Brereton's praises enough. He's in the top 10 in the FCBL in batting average. He can do it on the mound, and just like that, he can do it in the field. And for a guy who doesn't play much outfield, and he's made a couple misplays in the outfield so far, that was a fantastic play. That was a fantastic play to start that, to complete that diving catch out there in right field from Brereton.
Blandini, 244, 5 RBIs. He is the third baseman here for Nashua. But you're seeing everything, pitching and defense from the Blues, and that's what they built themselves on. One of the top teams in the FCBL in terms of defense, and do have by far the most strikeouts in the FCBL. But the big thing, the bugaboo, has been just walks, and then the occasional error at the wrong time.
Errors, wild pitches with men on third base, it all adds up. And sometimes when you're playing those nip and tuck games, an error here, a pass ball there, those can decide the outcome. So